A wealthy discards a box, which a homeless lady discovers, revealing a truth that irrevocably alters their lives. Prior to commencing the narrative, please comment below to indicate the city from which you are viewing. Delight in the narrative. Liam Donovan was embarking on a new phase in his life. Resolute in his intention to go forward, he collected bygone memories into a little wooden box. He approached a secluded street corner, discarded the box into a dumpster, and departed, as if relinquishing more than just objects, releasing memories. Clara observed him from a short distance. Unshod and in tattered garments, she clasped the hands of her twin daughters, Maya and Luna. Her gaze was directed at the elegantly attired man and the package he had just discarded. It might be sustenance, she contemplated, her heart accelerating. Without delay, Clara rushed to the dumpster. Remain at this location, ladies. Refrain from movement. She swiftly raised the lid and extracted the box. It was exquisite, substantial, and emitted a subtle aroma of aged timber. Experiencing a surge of adrenaline, Clara retreated several steps and opened it. However, instead of sustenance, she discovered photographs. A multitude of photographs. Amidst them, one caused her heart to cease. An image of herself. Clara's quivering hands raised the photograph. It originated with a gathering. She appeared younger, clad in a garment she scarcely recognized. Adjacent to her, smiling, was the identical man who had recently discarded the box. The man she had observed on the street seconds prior. Her thoughts accelerated. Fragments of memories from that night resurfaced. She was inebriated, amidst unfamiliar individuals, mirth, and cacophonous music. The night was perplexing, and she never comprehended the events that transpired. However, when gazing at the image, another detail captured her focus. His grin. It resembled the smiles of her daughters. She observed the twins awaiting by the wall. It was indisputable. The man in the photograph exhibited their characteristics. The question that had plagued her for 5 years finally appeared to have a resolution. Throughout this period, she remained unaware of her father's identity. It now appeared evident. Clara clasped the photograph to her chest. Her eyes focused on the path the stranger had taken. She was aware of his wealth, influence, and likely his lack of recollection of her. However, none of that was significant. After years, Clara experienced an internal awakening. Resolve. She muttered that he must be informed. She faced her daughters, inhaled deeply, and resolved to act. She was prepared to do whatever necessary actions to confront that man and provide Mia and Luna with the life they merited. Perched on the curb with a box beside her, Clara observed her girls engaging with fragments of cardboard, oblivious to the tempest rising within her. She retrieved the photograph once more, scrutinizing every detail. The background party appeared opulent, featuring glittering chandeliers and elegantly attired attendees. Liam Donovan, positioned beside her, grasped a drink in one hand, his smile exuding confidence. How did I fail to recognize this earlier? Clara whispered, gazing at his recognizable face. The identical strong jawline, the same piercing eyes, and the same grin she observed in her girls daily. Her thoughts spiraled. The photograph was taken 5 years prior. She recalled receiving an invitation to an opulent gathering from a former acquaintance who had urged her to participate. He asserted that this may transform your life. At that time, Clara possessed a consistent employment and a more secure existence. Although she was not affluent, she was oblivious to the rapid deterioration that would ensue. That evening, she resolved to unwind and dismiss her concerns. As she closed her eyes, memories resurfaced in vivid flashes. The music was loud, the champagne was abundant, and Clara became immersed in the exhilaration. She consumed an excessive amount. Subsequently, she observed Liam for the first time. He appeared invulnerable, although their gazes intersected. His smile, or perhaps his formidable confidence, captivated her. Subsequently, that evening, among mirth and dialogue, they found themselves together. However, the remainder of the evening was indistinct. She awoke solitary the following morning, inebriated and disoriented, lacking a coherent recollection of the preceding events. Upon gazing at the photograph, everything fell into place. 5 years ago, soon after that gathering, Clara discovered she was expecting. She was unaware of the father's identity, and those around her saw it merely as the result of an encounter with an unknown individual. However, it has now become unequivocally evident. The individual in the photograph was Liam Donovan, and his smile constituted the evidence she had been seeking. Clara gulped audibly. She contemplated that he must be informed, although apprehension ensued. Liam appeared exceedingly distant and formidable. She was residing on the streets. How could she possibly initiate contact with him? Furthermore, what would be his response? The uncertainty engulfed her. Would he trust her, or regard her as an opportunist out to exploit his affluence? She observed Mia and Luna, who frolicked and giggled, completely oblivious to the surrounding chaos. The affection she harbored for her daughters surpassed any trepidation. Clara understood that she must persevere. She captured the photograph and concealed it in her pocket. She meticulously preserved the box, aware that it could contain additional evidence. Gazing toward the direction of Liam's last disappearance, she inhaled deeply. "I shall not relent," she said, tightening her fist. With revitalized resolve, Clara reached a conclusion. She would locate Liam Donovan. He required confirmation of having 2 daughters. The following day, Clara observed a newspaper headline on the street. Liam was scheduled to participate in an event at an opulent hotel in the city. Upon her arrival, she inhaled deeply. Her fingers quivered as they clutched the photograph in her pocket. Accompanied by the twins, she entered the vast hall, disregarding the critical gazes directed at her disheveled look. Upon her entrance, she identified Liam. He appeared impervious, as unattainable as she had envisioned. However, Clara remained steadfast. "Mr. Donovan," she exclaimed, her voice unwavering despite her rapid heartbeat. Liam glanced at her, frowning upon observing the slender, inadequately attired woman approaching him. Before he could respond, Clara stated, "I need to speak with you. It is significant." A whisper of intrigue spread among the audience. However, Clara remained resolute. She extracted the photograph from her pocket and extended it towards Liam. "We encountered each other 5 years prior at a gathering. You may not recall, but..." She inhaled deeply, attempting to maintain composure. "These girls, indicated by her hand towards Mia and Luna, who observed from afar, are your daughters." The room descended into an uncomfortable silence. All attention was directed towards Liam, who blinked languidly, attempting to comprehend what he had just heard.
"Is this iced?"
he inquired, his tone laced with incredulity. "Negative, it is not. It may appear unattainable, yet observe them. It is visible. They resemble you," Clara asserted, striving to retain authority. Liam momentarily surveyed the girls before promptly redirecting his attention to Clara. He emitted a brief, frigid laugh. "Do you genuinely believe you can, in here, level accusations against me, and I will accept them without question?" He approached, modulating his voice to a lower volume, yet plenty audible for anyone in proximity to overhear. "I would never associate with somebody like you. This is absurd." Liam's remark struck Clara with the force of a gut punch. Her face flushed as the whispers surrounding her intensified. "Examine them attentively," Clara urged, her voice now quivering. "I am not motivated by financial gain. I am present because they merit knowledge of their paternal lineage." Liam folded his arms, regarding her with contempt. "I am unaware of your identity, and honestly, it is of little concern to me. Depart before I summon security." The embarrassment was profound. Clara's eyes brimmed with tears, yet she resolutely refrained from weeping in public. She seized her daughter's hands and swiftly departed, hearing muted laughter and scathing comments in her wake. Liam attempted to re-engage with the guests. However, his thoughts remained disquieted. He recalled that evening, or at least fragments of it. The beverages, her visage, an aspect of it remained partially imprinted in his recollection. What troubled him more was the girls. Upon gazing at them, An inner sensation was awakened within him. The similarity was unmistakable. As the evening progressed, he recognized he could not dispel the image of Clara and the girls. That woman might represent any individual. However, a deceiver? There was an air of sincerity about her. That night, for the first time in an extended period, Liam was unable to sleep. He rotated the whiskey in his glass, observing the amber liquid reflect the subdued light of his office. 2 days had elapsed since the altercation with Clara, yet her remarks and the vision of the girls continued to torment him. Something in their gaze, in their likeness to him, prevented him from finding peace. What if she is truthful? He pondered, exasperated with himself for considering the notion. He harbored distrust towards others and was accustomed to being a target for people seeking to abuse his wealth. Nevertheless, the uncertainty persisted. In a state of uncertainty, Liam contacted a reliable private investigator via his phone. He requested an investigation into a mother and 2 children, supplying the information he possessed regarding Clara and their fleeting encounter. Gather comprehensive information regarding her. Ascertain her residence, origin, and verify her attendance at one of my gatherings 5 years prior. The investigator on the other end of the line concurred without reservation. I will commence immediately, Mr. Donovan. 2 days later, the report appeared on Liam's desk. He opened the package with firm hands, yet felt a sense of unease at encountering the stack of detailed documents. The collection included photographs of Clara and her daughters, annotations regarding her everyday activities, and unexpectedly, a segment detailing her familial lineage. Clara was not perpetually homeless. The assessment indicates that she originated from a solid middle-class background. Her parents operated a little craft store, and she experienced a predominantly tranquil upbringing. However, 5 years prior, a calamity occurred. A conflagration obliterated her family's establishment, rendering her parents devoid of revenue and significantly in debt. The financial and emotional burden resulted in their loss of home, and soon thereafter, they died, leaving Clara solitary in the world. Liam mumbled, "She has lost everything," as he read. He flipped to the subsequent page and discovered a record that piqued his interest. Clara shared mutual friends with several of his former party associates. Indeed, she had participated in one of his most opulent festivities 5 years prior. Liam inhaled deeply and shut the report. She attended the celebration. The link was undeniable. He recalled his behavior towards her during their public altercation. The severe words he had uttered reverberated within him like a blow, and for the first time he experienced remorse. Clara appeared disinterested in financial gain. Her voice conveyed a certain authenticity when she spoke of her girls. The images of the twins in the report corroborated his prior suspicions. Their eyes and smiles resembled a youthful iteration of himself. Liam rose and started pacing in his office. Recollections of that indistinct evening at the gathering started to crystallize. He recalled inebriation, sharing laughter with companions, and encountering Clara. He faintly remembered conversing with her, captivated by her authentic vitality, a rarity in his usual social circles. How could I have overlooked this? He understood his necessary course of action. He was unable to reverse his treatment of her. However, perhaps he might rectify the situation. Liam seized his phone and executed a brief call. Locate Clara. I seek to ascertain her current location. Liam experienced restlessness while awaiting the information. On this occasion, his methodology would vary. He was uncertain about his readiness to assume any responsibility, yet he needed to converse with Clara once more. Clara rearranged the improvised blankets around Mia and Luna while they slumbered. The nights on the street were frigid and desolate, and she endeavored to ensure their safety. However, the encounter with Liam continued to occupy her thoughts. His harsh words resonated as a perpetual reminder of her degradation. Suddenly, rapid footsteps disrupted her contemplation. She pivoted swiftly, drawing the females nearer. She then observed him, Liam Donovan, properly attired, positioned before her. His expression revealed an unexpected emotion for Clara. Regret. Clara, I require a conversation with you, he stated, his tone gentler than previously. Clara rose, instinctively positioning herself between him and the girls. What is your current request? Was it insufficient to humiliate me publicly? Liam inhaled deeply, visibly uneasy. I was haughty and hateful, and I really apologize. I had no justification for treating you in that manner. Clara folded her arms, adopting a protective stance. What rationale do I have to trust you at this moment? Liam paused briefly before advancing closer. I believe you may be correct. These girls may be my daughters. I wish to rectify the situation. Clara arched an eyebrow, astonished by his confession. What is your strategy for accomplishing that, Liam? Do you believe that mere eloquence can obliterate all transgressions? He gestured negatively with his head. Negative, but I wish to provide a method to alter your circumstances. I desire for you and the women to leave the streets. Reside with me. I possess ample space in my residence. Clara emitted a brief, acrid laugh. Do you believe you can simply purchase our trust? That I would take assistance from an individual who labeled me a deceiver and an opportunist? Liam promptly replied, That is incorrect. I am not attempting to purchase anything. I merely wish to assist. Clara gazed at him for an extended period, grappling with the recollections of his prior statements. She was uncertain of his trustworthiness, and her initial impulse was to decline. I do not require your benevolence. We will manage independently, as we consistently have. Mia and Luna, having awakened during the discussion, gazed at Liam with curiosity. The two females approached, captivated by the refined man who appeared markedly distinct from their familiar experiences. Are you the individual from the gathering? Mia inquired, her eyes glimmering. Liam knelt to their height, a soft smile emerging on his visage. Perhaps I am. What are your names? The small girl identified herself as Mia and indicated her sibling, Luna. Liam scrutinized them intently, experiencing a constriction in his chest. It was undeniable. They possessed his characteristics. The females commenced conversing with him, evidently enthralled by his presence. Clara saw from afar, conflicted between skepticism and the aspiration to offer her daughter what she was unable to provide herself. You resemble a royal? Were you aware of that? Luna's remark elicited laughter from Liam for the first time in several days. Clara exhaled audibly. Despite her desire to maintain her position, she could not overlook the spark in her daughter's eyes. They warranted greater recognition. Significantly more. Liam rose once more, his tone now more assertive. Consider what is most advantageous for them, Clara. I am not requesting your trust at this moment. I am providing an opportunity for everyone to have a secure environment. Clara did not reply promptly. The notion of residing in his home appeared ludicrous. However, concurrently, her conscience burdened her. Was it just to allow pride to prevent her from providing her daughters with an improved life? She folded her arms, gazing at her girls before shifting her attention back to Liam. She ultimately stated that she needs some time to contemplate. Liam acquiesced, honoring her choice. That is acceptable. I will be here when you are prepared. He departed after leaving a card with her, although Clara's attention remained focused on the twins, who appeared captivated by the stranger they had just encountered. The following morning was frigid, yet Clara experienced the warmth of Mia and Luna's petite hands grasping hers as they approached Liam Donovan's mansion. She remained incredulous that she had acquiesced to his proposal. The decision was taken for her daughter's sake, although it did not alleviate the tension of dread in her chest. This resembles a castle, mother? Mia said, her eyes widening as she beheld the magnificent mansion ahead. Do you believe we will have a private room? Luna inquired. Clara compelled a grin for her girls, attempting to disregard her inner disquiet. The primary gate opened seamlessly, and Liam was at the entrance to welcome them. His modest sweater rendered him more approachable and less aloof. Welcome, he stated, gesturing for them to enter. Clara paused briefly before entering with the girls. The interior surpassed her expectations, including lustrous marble flooring, grand chandeliers, and furnishings that exuded sophistication. It was a striking juxtaposition to the alleyways where she and her girls resided. Liam, with a fleeting yet sincere smile, stated that you may select any room you desire for the females. A room has been designated for you, Clara. She acquiesced, uncertain of how to respond. The twins swiftly acclimated to their new environment. They traversed the hallways, reveled in the vast gardens, and appeared to momentarily forget the adversities they had encountered. Clara, meanwhile, found it challenging to attain a sense of comfort. The mansion's walls appeared formidable, as though they were perpetually observing her. She devoted the most of her time near the girls, ensuring they understood they could still depend on her despite the opulence currently enveloping them. Liam afforded Clara her solitude while scrutinizing her attentively. He perceived in her an unparalleled strength that he had not observed in anyone else previously. Despite her experiences, Clara remained a dedicated mother who put her girls' welfare over pride or suffering. One evening, Liam saw her in the kitchen, preparing a modest meal for Mia and Luna. She appeared apprehensive, occupying a space that evidently did not belong to her, yet her demeanor was serene as she attended to the girls. "You need not do that," Liam remarked, leaning against the doorway. "Staff members are designated to manage these matters." Clara turned, astonished by his presence. "I acknowledge that, nevertheless I prefer to undertake it myself. It is the sole aspect that imparts a sense of utility to my being here." Liam remained still for a minute, observing her hands as they moved with precision. He had never encountered someone comparable to her. "Clara, I want to convey that this need not be transient. If you choose to remain here, you will receive all necessary support." She regarded him with a wary face. "You stated that this situation is provisional, and it ought to remain thus. I do not wish for the girls to perceive this as a permanent situation. What is the reason for this?" Liam inquired, sincerely intrigued. Clara exhibited hesitation. She was unable to articulate that the opulence enveloping her seemed like an unattainable ideal for someone of her stature. "As this does not constitute our reality," she remarked, redirecting her focus to her task. Liam wished to elaborate further, yet opted against pressing her. That evening, after settling the girls for the night, Clara ventured into the garden for some fresh air. The sky was unclouded, and the stars shimmered like diamonds. Liam arrived shortly thereafter, bearing 2 cups of tea. He approached her silently and presented one to her. "I believed you would appreciate this." "Thank you," Clara responded with hesitation. The two remained silent for a period, observing the sky. For the first time, Liam experienced the want to express something unrelated to commerce or obligations. "Clara, I commend your efforts for your daughters. Few individuals possess the fortitude you have demonstrated." She regarded him with astonishment. "I am uncertain if it is strength. I believe it is only love." Liam remarked that love may be the most profound strength of all, as he averted his sight. A fleeting time occurred, however a transformation transpired between them that night. An unspoken acknowledgement of appreciation, a little advancement towards an unforeseen outcome for all parties. The days in the mansion assumed an unusual cadence. Mia and Luna appeared more content than ever, traversing the gardens and investigating every nook of the mansion. Clara, meanwhile, maintained her misgivings. Regardless all her efforts, she was unable to expunge Liam's scathing remarks from their initial confrontation from her recollection. Here is an engaging challenge for those perusing the comments. Please type pizza in the comments if you have read this far. Let us continue with the narrative. Nevertheless, there was an aspect of him that appeared altered now. Liam exhibited increased presence, heightened attentiveness, and consistently sought to interact with the girls whenever possible. Clara found it nearly impossible to disregard his smile directed at Mia and Luna's giggling, as well as his apparent genuine pleasure in participating in their everyday activities. One morning, as Clara was in the yard reading a tale to her girls, Liam arrived with a bucket and a small ball. He suggested we engage in a game, gesturing towards the girls. "What do you think about a treasure hunt?" Mia and Luna exclaimed with enthusiasm, leaping up instantly. "Indeed, let us proceed, mother," they urged, pulling at Clara's hand. Clara faltered. However, her daughter's exuberance was infectious. She acquiesced and participated in the game. They devoted the morning to concealing themselves and seeking clues, laughing more than Clara had anticipated. For the first time, she observed a more amiable aspect of Liam, one that appeared less formidable and more relatable. Upon completion, Mia embraced Liam firmly. "You are quite enjoyable, are you aware of that?" she remarked, smiling. Liam looked at Clara, searching for her acceptance, but she turned away, still reluctant to fully lower her shields. Subsequently, as Clara was organizing the toys the girls had left strewn around the garden, Liam approached her once more. "It is understood that you need not undertake all tasks independently, correct?" He adopted a tone that was more worried than critical. Clara gazed upward, astonished. "I am accustomed to it. That is the established norm. However, it no longer needs to remain that way," Liam asserted resolutely. She exhaled, placing the toys aside. "Liam, I genuinely appreciate your efforts on our behalf, although it remains challenging for me to have confidence." Liam acknowledged, comprehending the significance of her statements. "I acknowledge my previous misconduct and recognize that there remains much to address. However, Clara, I wish to convey that my current objective is to assist not just the females but also you." Clara gazed at him, experiencing inner conflict. She continued to bear the anguish of her past. Yet, she was starting to perceive Liam from a different perspective. "We shall see," she remarked, evading a more substantial commitment. Liam refrained from probing further. However, a faint smile emerged on his visage. He saw that he had made a significant advancement. That evening, as Clara settled Maya and Luna into bed, the girls began to converse in hushed tones. "Mother, why does Liam not sleep in our room?" Luna inquired naively. Clara laughed, taken aback by the inquiry. "Due to the fact that he possesses his own room, dear. However, he appears to be fond of you," Maya remarked with a playful grin. Clara was briefly rendered speechless, but swiftly shook her head. "Your imaginations are remarkably vivid. Please proceed to sleep now, understood?" The girls chuckled quietly, yet complied. As Clara observed them succumb to slumber, her mind meandered. Regardless of her attempts to refute it, an internal transformation was commencing within her. Clara awoke early, with the initial rays of sunlight penetrating the thick curtains of the room she shared with the girls. It was a bizarre juxtaposition to the frigid streets they had inhabited for an extended period. Yet, even in the midst of ease, her mind remained agitated. Liam's remarks from recent days reverberated in her mind. Nevertheless, an underlying sense of distrust persisted, inhibiting her progress. As she prepared breakfast for Mia and Luna, she detected noises emanating from the mansion's foyer. Clara discerned Liam's tone. However, the other voice was unrecognizable. Intrigued, she approached the source of the sound. In the lobby, a statuesque woman with impeccably arranged hair and a clothing that radiated refinement confronted Liam. She appeared enraged. "Indeed," the woman remarked, her tone laden with contempt. "Did you indeed admit a beggar and her children into your residence?" Clara paused in the corridor, concealed behind the door. The words pierced profoundly, yet she was unable to act. Liam responded, clearly irritated. "Vivian, this does not concern you." Vivian's laughter was a harsh, unfeeling sound. "This does not pertain to me." "Liam, kindly. Your selections undoubtedly impact more than alone yourself. There is widespread discussion over a man of your stature accepting them. It is rather dubious." Liam retorted, crossing his arms, indifferent to others' opinions. "Since when have you become so virtuous?" Vivian derided. "This behavior is unlike of you, unless you possess some hidden agenda behind your actions." Liam exhaled audibly, raking his fingers through his hair. "I will not engage in a dispute with you. You possess no knowledge regarding Clara or the girls." "Clara? Are you already acquainted on a first-name basis?" "How endearing, Liam. Do not deceive yourself. She is exploiting you and you are permitting it." Clara experienced an accelerated heartbeat. Vivian's comments reverberated in her memory, intertwining with her persistent uncertainties. That is sufficient, Vivian, Liam asserted decisively. I have made my decision and will not alter it based on your views. If you have no other comments, you may depart. Vivian elevated her chin, evidently affronted. I trust you are aware of your actions, as this will have significant consequences for you, Liam. She departed with resolute strides, her heels audibly clicking along the corridor. Clara, still concealed, experienced a blend of indignation and humiliation. Was that the perception others held of her? Was she merely exploiting Liam? Liam remained in the entryway for a brief period before pivoting. His gaze encountered Clara's, and he comprehended that she had overheard everything. Did you hear that? He inquired immediately. Indeed, Clara responded in a subdued tone. Liam exhaled deeply, massaging the nape of his neck. Disregard her counsel. Vivian enjoys interfering in matters that do not pertain to her. Clara folded her arms, attempting to conceal the pain in her visage. Perhaps she is correct. You may be jeopardizing too much by retaining us here. Liam scowled, evidently exasperated. Please refrain from making that statement. I brought you here to assist you, regardless of others' opinions. That is simple for you to assert, Clara countered. However, I am aware of your initial gaze at me. I am aware of your perception of me. Liam paused prior to responding. I acknowledge my error and am endeavoring to atone for it. Before Clara could reply, Mia and Luna dashed down the hallway, disrupting the dialogue. Liam, observe our creation, Luna remarked, displaying a sheet adorned with vibrant illustrations. Liam knelt, meticulously retrieving the paper. This is remarkable. You both are exceptionally skilled artists. The girls embraced him while laughing, saturating the entire hallway with their exuberance. Clara observed the event, experiencing a constriction in her chest. Despite her efforts to maintain emotional detachment, she could not ignore the connection developing between Liam and her girls. You appear to embody a paternal figure, do you not? Mia remarked, gazing up at Liam with reverence. Clara experienced a flush in her cheeks. However, Liam merely laughed, evidently uncertain about how to react. I genuinely appreciate you, ladies, he remarked, embracing them. Clara averted her gaze. However, she was unable to suppress the intrusive notion that entered her head. What if he could genuinely fulfill the paternal role that her daughters have lacked? Later that evening, while preparing Mia and Luna for sleep, Luna, already drowsy, posed an unexpected question to Clara. Mother, will Liam become our father? Clara became immobilized, taken by surprise. What leads you to that conclusion, dear? She inquired, attempting to maintain her composure. Due to his amiable nature and affection for us. Clara caressed her daughter's hair but remained silent. As the room was silent, Clara seated herself on the couch, immersed in contemplation. Vivian's caustic remarks resonated in her thoughts. However, so did Liam's conduct from the preceding days. He was making an effort. That was evident. However, could she rely on the authenticity of his transformation? Or was this really a transient illusion? Something that might vanish as swiftly as it had emerged? She exhaled audibly, gazing at the ceiling. After years, she sensed she was on the verge of a decision that may alter everything. In the subsequent days, Clara observed Liam's endeavor to engage in the girls' life. He dined with them, engaged in recreational activities in the garden, and assisted with their academic tasks. Clara, nonetheless, exercised prudence. Each of his gestures appeared authentic. However, she continued to grapple with the apprehension that it could be ephemeral. One afternoon, as Clara was folding the girls' garments, Liam emerged at the doorway. He appeared uncertain, a contrast to his often assured posture. Clara, do you have a moment to spare? He inquired, his tone more subdued than customary. Certainly. What is occurring? She responded, placing the stack of garments aside. Liam entered, halting several paces from her. I have been contemplating extensively on various matters. concerning you, the females, and the events of the past. Clara folded her arms, attempting to conceal the increasing tension in her chest. What is your decision? He inhaled deeply, as though meticulously selecting his words. I wish to convey that I am available for all of you, not solely due of the events of that night or the possibility that they may be my daughters, but because I desire to be involved in your life. Clara experienced an accelerated heartbeat, however, maintained her composure. It is facile to assert that, Liam. Words may be pleasing, although they may not resolve all issues. I am aware, he responded, advancing nearer. Consequently, I am prepared to substantiate it. Before Clara could reply, Mia and Luna entered the room, disrupting the moment. Mother, Liam, let us engage and play in the yard, Luna exclaimed, pulling on his hand. Liam gazed at Clara, quietly seeking her consent, and she acquiesced with a nod. Clara saw from afar as Liam engaged with the girls in the yard. They laughed and circled around him, their elation apparent. A transformation commenced within Clara. Despite her desire to remain guarded, she found it difficult to overlook the beneficial influence Liam had on their girl's life. Subsequently, once the girls retired to their room, Clara occupied the living room couch. Liam soon arrived, bearing 2 cups of tea. He positioned one before her and seated himself in the adjacent recliner. He remarked nonchalantly that he believed you would desire something warm. Clara grasped the cup, acknowledging with a nod of gratitude. The ensuing silence was not awkward. It seemed that both were mustering the confidence to articulate anything. What is the purpose of your actions, Liam? Clara ultimately inquired, disrupting the silence. He gazed at her briefly prior to responding. Due of my admiration for you, Clara. The reply surprised her. Appreciate? She inquired, arching an eyebrow. Indeed, he affirmed. You have endured experiences that would have shattered many, yet you persist in your struggle for your daughters. That is an action undertaken by a limited number of individuals. Clara averted her gaze, experiencing a blush of embarrassment on her face. I just executed the necessary tasks. Liam asserted, leaning forward, that it transcends that notion. You possess strength, Clara, and I aim to assist you in recognizing it. Clara remained mute, contemplating his remarks. It was the inaugural instance of someone articulating such sentiments to her, evoking unforeseen emotions. That evening, Clara experienced difficulty in sleeping. Liam's comments reverberated in her thoughts, leaving her in a state of contemplation. What if he was genuinely sincere? What if he genuinely desired to be involved in their lives? As the stars illuminated the night sky, Clara resolved to take action. Perhaps it was time to lower her defenses slightly and allow Liam to demonstrate his worth. The following day, Clara discovered him in the office, examining several documents. Liam, may we converse? She inquired, entering hesitantly. He gazed upward, astonished, yet acquiesced. Certainly. Clara advanced and halted next to the desk. I am uncertain about the outcome, although I am inclined to attempt to trust you. Liam's face illuminated with an authentic smile for the girl's sake. That is all I could ever request. For the first time, Clara sensed the possibility of collaboratively forging a path ahead. The evening commenced with a blend of apprehension and expectation. Reluctant to accept Liam's invitation to the corporate gathering, Clara now stood alongside him, adorned in an exquisite blue dress he had selected. Each step into the opulent hall appeared to be a formidable challenge. She sensed the scrutinizing gazes upon her, both inquisitive and critical. You appear stunning, Liam said, grasping her hand tightly. Clara expressed her optimism that there would be no remorse in bringing her to this location, attempting to project confidence, yet her eyes revealed her apprehension. He assured her with a smile that appeared to alleviate some of her worry. However, the relief was ephemeral. While traversing the corridor, Clara recognized the malevolent murmurs. Onlookers whispered while scrutinizing her appearance, as if she were an intruder in a privileged realm. Liam presented her to a small assembly of colleagues, and the dialogue appeared amicable until an older executive named Howard made a disparaging comment. "So, Liam, have you finally resolved to commit yourself to charitable endeavors?" Howard stated, gazing directly at Clara. She experienced a flush on her face but remained silent. Liam squinted, clearly vexed. "What are you referring to, Howard?" It is widely acknowledged that she sprang from modest circumstances. Howard laughed, accompanied by several others in the group. "You have consistently embraced challenges, although this particular one is unprecedented, even for you." Clara endeavored to maintain her composure. However, her heart raced within her chest. Prior to her response, Liam advanced. "What did you just articulate?" he inquired, his tone resolute, perhaps menacing. Howard shrugged, pretending to be unconcerned. "I am merely jesting, Liam. There is no necessity to regard it with such gravity. However, candidly speaking, she is not precisely the type of individual one would anticipate accompanying you." Liam emitted a brief laugh, devoid of any amusement. "Who do you believe you are to determine who may or may not accompany me?" The group became silent, clearly uneasy with Liam's tone. He persisted, his voice elevating marginally, capturing the attention of other attendees. "Clara have greater strength and merit than everyone present. She has endured experiences beyond your comprehension, yet she remains resilient. Before you speak about her, reflect on your own actions. I wager that none of you could endure even a single day in her position." Clara remained composed, endeavoring to suppress her emotions. No individual has ever advocated for her in such a manner previously. Subsequently, while Clara continued to grapple with the unease triggered by the remarks, another unwelcome presence emerged. Victoria, Liam's former fiancée, approached with a smile tinged with malice. "Indeed, indeed, indeed. If it is not the esteemed Liam Donovan and his unique associate." Clara instantly discerned the derisive tone. "Victoria, I believe this is not the appropriate moment for caustic comments." Liam expressed his irritation clearly. Victoria disregarded him and addressed Clara straight. "It is remarkable what certain individuals will undertake to ascend the social hierarchy, is it not? You are undoubtedly a profound source of inspiration for narratives centered on triumphing over adversity." Clara experienced a surge of indignation, although this time, she chose not to remain mute. "I may serve as an inspiration, Victoria. Are you aware of the reason? I do not require undermining others to attain a sense of significance." Victoria became noticeably disturbed. However, Clara persisted. "You behave as though you occupy a superior position, yet what have you genuinely accomplished to warrant your being here? Your continued relevance appears solely attributable to your association with Liam. It must be challenging to refrain from exhibiting one's own brilliance." An uncomfortable quiet enveloped the observing group. Victoria endeavored to regain her calm, yet was unable to articulate a response. Liam saw Clara with a blend of admiration and pride. He asserted that she had conveyed her message, "Victoria," while grasping Clara's hand. "You can consider seeking an alternative group to impress." Victoria departed, evidently vanquished. Upon the conclusion of the party, Clara felt fatigued. In the vehicle, she maintained silence, contemplating all that had transpired. Liam attempted to initiate a dialogue several times, but she merely replied with terse responses. Upon arriving home, Clara proceeded directly to the garden. Liam pursued her, apprehensive. "Clara, what is occurring? Your performance this evening was outstanding." She faced him, her eyes brimming with emotion. "Liam, this is unfeasible." He scowled, taken aback. "What is your meaning?" "I do not belong in this world," Clara articulated, her voice quavering. "You observed their gazes and their discussions regarding me. It will perpetually remain in that state." Liam asserted resolutely that he was indifferent to their opinions. "However, I do," Clara responded, tears cascading down her cheeks. "I do not wish to be the individual who creates difficulties for you, compelling you to endure gazes and remarks daily." Liam approached, grasping her hands in his. "Clara, you are not an issue. You are the most significant occurrence in my life. She attempted to avert her gaze, but he tenderly grasped her face, compelling her to confront his eyes. I am increasingly enamored with you, Clara, each passing day. This evening, you instilled in me an unprecedented sense of pride. Prior to her response, Liam inclined towards her and kissed her. The kiss was fervent, as though he sought to express all his emotions non-verbally. As they separated, Clara gazed at him, attempting to comprehend the recent events. Liam refrained from speaking. He interjected, grinning, "Simply place your trust in me." The following morning, Clara awoke prior to dawn. Liam's kiss lingered in her recollection, accompanied by a persistent sense of discomfort. Despite her want to trust his promises, Liam's world still seemed like an environment to which she could never genuinely belong. As she prepared her coffee, she perceived footsteps in the corridor. Liam entered the kitchen, his demeanor calm. "Good morning," he remarked, leaning on the counter. Clara nodded affirmatively, concentrating on pouring the coffee. The stillness between them was laden with tension, which Liam immediately perceived. "Is everything satisfactory?" he inquired, attempting to ascertain her thoughts. She placed the cup on the table with greater force than intended, turning to confront him. "Liam, we must converse." He exhaled audibly, folding his arms. "I believed we concluded this discussion last night." "It is incomplete," Clara asserted resolutely. "The events during the gathering elucidated a singular truth for me. Regardless of your assertions of indifference towards others' opinions, those in your vicinity will remain unchanged." Liam approached, his frustration palpable in his gaze. "What is the significance of that, Clara? I selected you, not them. I do not wish to be the cause of your loss of respect. I do not wish for you to engage in conflict whenever someone remarks about me." Liam approached, grasping her hands firmly. "Pay attention, Clara. I am indifferent to the opinions of those individuals. Howard, Victoria, and all others. They are inconsequential. What is significant to me is you and the children. You are my foremost priority now." Clara acknowledged his comments. However, the burden of their disparities continued to torment her. She inquired, averting her gaze, "What if that is insufficient?" Liam asserted with resolve that he would demonstrate its validity. Subsequently, while Clara engaged in play in the garden with Mia and Luna, the noise of tires on gravel drew her attention. She gazed at the driveway and observed a dark automobile approaching. A man emerged, and Clara instantly identified Howard, the coworker who had uttered disparaging comments at the gathering. Clara scowled as he neared. "Howard, what brings you here?" she inquired, attempting to maintain composure. He grinned, however his tone remained as dismissive as it had been at the party. "Is your name Clara? I intended to visit to clarify the situation. I did not intend to offend you last night. You are aware of the situation. Occasionally, words are articulated incorrectly." Clara folded her arms, utterly skeptical of his reasoning. "There is no necessity for pretense, Howard. I fully comprehend your meaning." "You are astute," he responded with the same exasperating grin. Liam should reconsider before becoming very committed. Individuals of your disposition often exacerbate complexities. Before Clara could reply, Liam emerged on the porch, observing the situation. He rapidly descended the stairs, his expression somber. "Howard, what brings you here?" he inquired, his tone frigid. Howard lifted his hands in feigned submission, engaging in a cordial conversation with Clara. Liam interjected, positioning himself between Clara and Howard, stating that if one perceives threats or belittlement as amicable, they are entirely ignorant of his character. "Allow me to clarify this. If you address Clara or the girls in this manner again, you will confront me directly." Howard appeared uneasy but sought to conceal it. "I did not intend to insult anyone, Liam. I am contemplating what is most beneficial for all parties involved. It is in the greatest interest of all parties for you to refrain from interfering in my life and theirs," Liam retorted. "Depart immediately, or I will have you removed from the premises." Howard feigned a smile before redirecting his attention to his vehicle. "Contemplate this, Liam," You may yet reconsider your decision. As he departed, Clara exhaled a breath she had not recognized she was retaining. Liam faced her, clearly distressed. I apologize for it. I am uncertain of his reasoning for arriving here. Clara negated with her head, still contemplating the events that had transpired. This is precisely what I feared, Liam. These individuals persist incessantly. I will continue to defend you, he responded, advancing closer. Clara perceived his resolve, yet it failed to alleviate her concerns. I do not wish for you to exist in this manner, Liam. Your reputation and your enterprise are at stake. None of that holds greater significance for me than you and the daughters, he interjected, grasping her shoulders. Do you not perceive that? She gazed into his eyes, seeking any indication of doubt, yet discovered none. Liam was steadfast, rendering her speechless. Clara confessed, her voice trembling, that this was challenging for her. I understand, however, we shall not abandon one another. Not now, he stated, inclining toward her for another kiss, as if to emphasize what he had articulated. This time Clara acquiesced. She permitted the moment to swallow her, rife with uncertainties, yet ignited by a glimmer of hope that perhaps, just perhaps, this could succeed. The days subsequent to the confrontation with Howard yielded an unforeseen development for Clara. Despite her ongoing struggle with insecurities, she could not refute that Liam was making every effort to demonstrate his genuine concern for her and the children. One afternoon, when Clara prepared a snack in the kitchen, Liam entered with a casual smile, concealing something behind his back. Do you have a moment? He inquired, advancing gradually. It is contingent upon various factors. What are you concealing behind there? Clara responded, wary yet smiling. Merely a modest present, he remarked, unveiling a flawlessly blossomed crimson rose. Clara chuckled, astonished by the gesture's simplicity. What has influenced you, Liam Donovan? I was unaware of your amorous inclinations. He responded, presenting her with the flower. I am learning. I want you to understand that I am prepared to do anything necessary to gain your affection, Clara. She remained mute, clutching the rose while her heart accelerated. Liam, you are not obligated to undertake these tasks. I am already aware of your emotions. While it may not be necessary, I desire to. I wish for you to comprehend daily the significance you hold in my life. Prior to Clara's response, Liam inclined towards her and kissed her. The kiss rendered her oblivious to her surroundings. Subsequently, that afternoon, Liam proposed an innovative idea. What if we engaged in an activity together as a family? He said when Mia and Luna engaged in play within the garden. What do you mean? Clara inquired, intrigued. Shall we have a picnic? Only the four of us in a unique location. Clara was astonished by the straightforward concept. However, as she observed the girls sprinting and laughing, she recognized its perfection. Several hours later, they were seated on the grass in a tranquil location adjacent to the estate, encircled by trees. Liam had meticulously organized all arrangements. A blanket laid out, a basket containing sandwiches, fruit, and juice, along with a small radio playing music softly in the background. Mia and Luna were exhilarated, darting about and laughing while Liam attempted to instruct them on constructing paper airplanes. Clara, seated behind the tree's shade, observed the sight with a smile. You excel with them, she remarked as Liam sat next her, fatigued from pursuing the females. They are exceptional. It is inconceivable to refrain from adoring them, he responded, seizing a strawberry from the basket. Clara had a constriction in her throat. Liam was increasingly becoming a significant presence in Mia and Luna's lives, evoking both fear and solace in her. It appears you have captivated more than just me, she remarked, gesturing towards the girls. Liam chuckled but soon adopted a grave demeanor. I hold them in high regard, Clara. His words resonated profoundly within her. But before she could reply, Mia and Luna approached them. Mother, observe, Liam instructed us on constructing an airplane. Luna stated, presenting a folded sheet of paper. You are acquiring knowledge rapidly, Clara responded, chuckling. Mia remarked that he is the best while embracing Liam. He embraced her in return, beaming at Clara over the girl's shoulders. He remarked playfully that he could acclimate to this. Clara merely smiled, however internally, her heart expanded slightly towards him. That evening, after settling the girls for the night, Clara and Liam reclined in the garden beneath the stars. The silence shared was agreeable, and their proximity appeared instinctive. "I never envisioned possessing something like this," Clara remarked, looking up at the sky. "Family, joyful experiences. You are deserving of everything, Clara." Liam stated, grasping her hand, that no one mattered more than her. She glanced at him, observing the intensity in his gaze. She confessed that it occasionally still feels like a dream. Liam inclined towards her, delicately caressing her visage. "I will ensure to remind you daily that it is genuine." He kissed her once more, yet this kiss was more languid, imbued with emotion. Clara sensed the burdens of her past diminishing, supplanted with an unfamiliar sensation, expectation. The following day, Liam proposed an additional surprise. "Clara, I have been contemplating the idea of embarking on a journey." In a tranquil setting, the four of us were present, and Clara chuckled while shaking her head. "You persist, do you not?" "Not in the slightest," he responded with a smile. Clara hesitated, expressing her desire to provide you and the daughters with everything within her capacity. However, upon witnessing the enthusiastic smiles of Mia and Luna, she realized she could not decline. "Understood, Liam, but please refrain from anything overly ostentatious." He feigned offense. "Myself? Opulent? Never." The room resonated with laughter, and Clara recognized that, for the first time in an extended period, she experienced authentic happiness. Let us engage in a brief game with the readers of the comment area. Please enter Coca-Cola in the comments if you have read this far. Only those who have arrived here will comprehend it. Let us proceed with the narrative. The following day, Clara was in the mansion's garden, observing Mia and Luna engage in play with Liam. The day was tranquil, with the sun illuminating the sky and a soft breeze stirring the foliage. It was difficult to comprehend the extent of her life's transformation in recent months. Despite her lingering uncertainties regarding her role in Liam's life, each day spent together appeared to fortify their connection. Abruptly, Luna ceased running and gazed at Liam, chuckling. "Father, apprehend us," she exclaimed with the unrestrained exuberance characteristic of a youngster. Clara became immobilized upon hearing the term. She observed Liam pause momentarily, astonished, before erupting into a broad, authentic smile. Mia interjected with laughter. "Indeed, Father, you are the finest father in existence." Liam knelt, extending his arms as the girls rushed towards him. He embraced them fervently, his eyes shimmering with sentiment. He expressed, with a voice laden with passion, that the significance of that gesture was beyond comprehension. Clara, observing the spectacle from a distance, felt her eyes well with tears. It was a moment she had never envisioned experiencing. The daughters now had a father, a somebody who cherished them profoundly and consistently demonstrated his affection. Subsequently, Liam discovered Clara in the garden when the girls were occupied with painting. He advanced towards her, his smile persisting. "Have you perceived that?" he inquired. "Indeed," Clara responded with a slight smile. "I never anticipated that hearing that would evoke such a profound sense of significance. They referred to me as father. That is due to your perpetual role as their father. You have yet to recognize it." Liam grasped Clara's hand, applying a gentle pressure. "I appreciate the opportunity to participate in this." Clara merely smiled, while internally, she experienced a burgeoning warmth in her heart. The subsequent days were characterized by progressively close and affectionate interactions among Clara, Liam, and the daughters. They dined together nightly, engaged in garden activities, and established a custom of family movie nights on Saturdays. Clara began to perceive that Liam's realm, formerly remote and daunting, was beginning to merge with her own. One evening, once the girls were settled in bed, Liam requested Clara to join him in the garden. Upon her arrival, she discovered the area aglow with string lights suspended from the trees. A table was meticulously arranged, accompanied by gentle music in the background. "What is occurring?" Clara inquired, astonished. Liam remarked, smiling as he escorted her to the table. "It's merely a special dinner." They discussed a wide range of topics, encompassing Clara's history and Liam's aspirations for the future. The ambience was intimate, and Clara felt entirely at ease with him. Upon the arrival of dessert, Liam rose and extended his hand to assist her in standing. "Clara, you have transformed my life in ways I never imagined conceivable. You have infused my life with love and significance, providing me with something I was previously unaware I required. A household." Clara's heart accelerated as she absorbed his words. Liam retrieved a tiny package from his pocket and knelt before her. "I desire to spend the remainder of my life with you. Clara, will you consent to marry me?" Clara raised her palms to her face, engulfed by emotion. She wept as she nodded incessantly. "Indeed, Liam, I shall certainly comply." Liam placed the ring on her finger and kissed her. In the distance, they discerned the enthusiastic ovation of Mia and Luna, who had remained concealed the entire time. After several months, the day of the wedding ultimately arrived. The wedding took place in the mansion's gardens, adorned with white flowers and subtle lighting. Clara donned a sophisticated yet understated dress that accentuated her inherent attractiveness. Liam, attired in a black suit, was unable to avert his gaze as she approached him. Mia and Luna acted as flower girls, bearing the rings with beaming smiles. As Clara and Liam confronted one another, he grasped her hands firmly. "You appear exquisite," he murmured. Clara responded with a smile. "You appear flawless." The vows were poignant, evoking tears from every visitor. Upon the officiant declaring them husband and wife, the clapping was resounding. Clara and Liam embraced in a kiss beneath the affectionate stares of Mia and Luna, who circled them in celebration of their newly formed family. At the reception, Clara appeared more jubilant than ever. Liam drew her onto the dance floor, where they danced beneath the lights, immersed in their own realm. Subsequently, Clara guided Liam to a secluded area in the garden. She grasped his hands, a timid smile on her lips. She stated that she had something to convey. "What is it?" Liam inquired, intrigued. She inhaled deeply, sensing the emotion swell within her. "I am expecting a child." Liam was momentarily rendered speechless. However, his face illuminated with a smile that appeared to enhance the entire environment. "Clara, that is remarkable," he stated, enveloping her in a firm embrace. "We are expecting another child." Liam elevated her from the ground in an exuberant embrace, with both individuals laughing and weeping simultaneously. "You have rendered this day even more exquisite," he remarked, his voice imbued with emotion. In the subsequent months, Clara and Liam's joy intensified. They formed a cohesive family, bonded by a love that transcended all challenges. The advent of their newborn intensified their excitement, and Liam consistently demonstrated his deep appreciation for his family. The past, formerly perceived as an obstacle, transformed into a mere distant recollection. Clara recognized that her life would never attain perfection. Nevertheless, with Liam alongside her, she possessed something far more significant: authentic love, acceptance, and a family that had paramount significance for her. What is your opinion? Did Clara make an appropriate decision in pardoning Liam? Convey your opinions in the comments section. How would you evaluate this narrative on a scale from 0 to 10? Remember to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to stay updated on all our narratives. Explore further heartwarming narratives by clicking